Hello, Jayanam here with a Blender and Unity tutorial for creating a shooting animation with this Blender model that we animated in a previous tutorial. Here you can see the animation in pose mode, and in this tutorial I will export the model with the armature and the animation to Unity. So first of all I go to Object Mode and select the model and the armature. And then I go to File, Export FBX, and I will export this to a Unity project folder, and I use an operator preset that I created called Unity Bones that I use to export models with armature and animations. So I have these options checked: armature, mesh. The smoothing I set to face for low poly models to get this low poly style. I don't add leaf bones for the armature, but export the deform bones only. And I check to bake the animations. I enabled all the options except the NLA strips. Okay, these are the options. Now I define a name and press Export FBX. Alright, and I have another model that I'm going to export, and this is a bullet that we will use for shooting. A very simple object. Be sure that the scale and the rotation is applied. And I will export this as FBX as well, but I have a different preset, which is basically the same as the first one, but I don't export animations because they don't exist, and also no armature. So we just export the mesh and I name this bullet. Alright, now we switch to Unity and we see the models in the folder to which we exported. Here we have it, the bullet and the turret. And first I add the material that you know from the previous part, the simple low poly material with the color squares that I reuse for all the meshes that you can see here. And on the animation tab you see the shooting animation that we created for the turret. And what I will do now is to create an animation event that I will use later on in scripting to fire a bullet, to instantiate the bullet at this time of the animation. You see this here in the preview. At this time the bullet has to be fired, so I create the event at this point and I name it onFireTurret. Okay, so let's have a look at the bullet. There are no animations, so I don't have to import them. And then I go to the materials and also assign the low poly material. Okay, now let's prepare the bullet. First I drag it into the scene and assign a collider so that it is colliding when we hit, for example, a building. And for this simple object, I think we can go with a box collider. You see, it matches nicely, and the next thing I do is to drag this game object into a folder called prefabs. This is like a template, and in the script I can instantiate the object then by using this prefab. I come back to this later on. For prefabs it's a good practice to normalize the transform, so I set the position here to 0. Rotation is already set to 0 and scale to 1, that's fine. But we need one more component to fire the bullet, and this is a rigid body for physics. So press Add Component and select Rigid Body. Okay, the bullet is prepared, so I can remove it from the scene. Alright, and now I can drag the turret into the scene. Oh, I see, I forgot to add the material, or I haven't assigned the correct material. Okay, that's better. Okay, and what we need now is a bit complicated, but not too complicated. We have to add game objects, empty game objects, as spawn positions for the bullets. So I step here into the bone hierarchy and search for the bones of the kind of cannons. Okay, this is the bone for the left cannon, and what I do now is, with the bone selected, I add an empty object. So it is created as a child object of this bone, and therefore it will follow the rotation and the position. I rename this to spawn bullet L, L for left. And then I add another game object for the right bone and call it spawn bullet R. Great, now we can add an icon for this game object so that we can see it better in the scene. For instance, this one, you can use a different one if you like. Okay, and then I select the transform gizmo so that I can move and rotate with the same tool. And after that I rotate the game object with the Ctrl key pressed so that I can rotate in 5-degree steps so that the local Z axis is looking forward. We will need this in the script later on to fire the bullet in that direction. Okay, then I let the X-axis, the red one, point upwards, and this is the rotation that I was going for. Okay, now I move it a bit in the forward direction, and this will be the location at which I will create the bullet. Alright, and now I will do exactly the same for the spawn object on the left side. Nice, and now I create a script, call it turret, and assign it to the turret game object. Okay, the empty script is assigned. Now the next step is to create an Animator Controller so that we can start the animation, the shooting animation, dynamically from the C# script. To create the Animator Controller, I just drag the animation onto the game object. And you see it is created, it's named Turret. I'll rename this to Turret Animator. In the inspector, when we select the turret, you see that the Animator Controller is assigned, and there's one clip found in it, which is the shooting animation that we dragged onto the game object. It is the default state that plays the shooting animation, but we don't want this, we want to control it and play it dynamically, so we create a new state, an empty state, before I rename the shooting state to fire, and then I create an empty state, call it empty, and define it as the default state. So nothing happens with this animator assigned when we start the game, but I will add now a possibility to invoke the fire state. It should be playable from any state, so I create a transition from the any state to the fire state. And from the fire state we can go back again to the empty state, and the next thing I do is to add a trigger. This trigger I call fire, and it will act as a condition to enable the transition from the any state to the fire state. So I select this transition, then I add the fire trigger as condition, which means when I set this trigger from a script, for example, the transition to the fire state will be executed, and I disable the fixed duration so that it is invoked immediately when the trigger is set. Okay, that's it for the Animator Controller. Now let's move on to the C# script. I double-click to open it, and it is opened in Visual Studio 2019, which is my editor. It's the free community edition. And first of all, we have to add some variables for the spawning positions. Then I need a private member for the Animator Controller and a public member for the bullet prefab that we can assign in the editor. The shooting force we can also make configurable, therefore public. Let's say 150 as default. And in the start method, that is called when the game is started, we store the reference to the Animator Controller component in the mAnimator private member. We need this later on to set the fire trigger. And I could search now in the hierarchy for the bullet spawning position objects, but to keep it simple I make them public and then we can assign them in the editor. Okay, I go back to the editor and we can already assign the bullet prefab and the spawning positions. You see the slots here, they are visible because we defined the variables public. And first we drag the spawning game objects into the slots and then assign the bullet prefab. Here from the prefabs folder, that's important. And now we go back to the script and implement the firing of the bullets. Okay, first let's add the method onFireTurret, and as you know, this is called when the animation event that we created is invoked. And in this method we first check if a bullet prefab is assigned. If it is not, null. And in this case I call a method createAndFireBullet that I have to implement now. As a parameter I will use the bullet spawning position for one side. First for the right one, and now Visual Studio helps us to create this method. I just hover with the cursor over it, select Show Potential Fixes, generate the method, and here it is. Isn't that simple? Okay, but the logic to create and fire the bullet we have to implement on our own. First create an instance, a transform object of the bullet's prefab. You can do this by using the method instantiate with the prefab as original, but you have to cast into a transform object. So the first parameter is the bullet prefab, for which we already checked that it is assigned. Then I rename this parameter to spawnPos, because I will use it for the left and the right side as well. I will come back to this in a moment. And as first parameter I use the position of the spawnPos. And the second one is the rotation of the spawnPos. And you remember we rotated it in a way that the Z axis is looking in the forward direction. Okay, now let's get the rigid body of the bullet, which we assigned to the prefab and that we have to use to give the bullet a velocity. The velocity has a direction, which is the forward direction of the spawnPos, and then we just have to multiply this with the shoot force. Okay, and now comes the power of defining functions. We call the same function now for the bullet on the left side. If you know how to code, it's fun. Okay, with this view in the scene, I select the camera and press Ctrl Shift and F. Then this viewport is used for the game camera. Then we start the game and we see nothing. Great! No. We have to go back to the script and actually execute the animation, for instance by pressing a key like F. So in the update method I use the input class to check if the user pressed the F key. And if this is true, I call the method setTrigger of the Animator Controller with the parameter fire for the fire trigger. After that the fire animation is executed. Then the onFireTurret event is executed as well, and yeah, everything works. Okay, I start the game, press the F key, the animation is played and the bullets are created. You see them here in the hierarchy, but well, they are actually pretty hard to see in the scene. Okay, what we can do is let's rotate the turret towards the building. Then go to the bullet prefab and increase the size, let's say to 5. I use a lower shoot force so that we can see the bullet better. And then I start again, press the F key, and look at this, here are the bullets colliding with the building and the terrain. Very nice. Okay, in the next one I will show you how to create a hit effect, a particle system, when the bullets for instance hit another object. Okay guys, I hope you liked this tutorial. If you do, then don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I hope these assets that you saw in this tutorial will be reviewed soon. In the asset store I already published these. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you soon here on Jayanam.